That is a meditation. There will be for a couple of minutes to relax, and whatever the time we feel like meditating, we will meditate, and then we will talk about something.
Sounds good.
Sound in the gong 3 times, although Zoom will cut it out, but you can kind of imagine that sound coming through. And with that, you transcend any worries, any concerns. May you also close your eyes and bring your body to a very much relaxed, resting, composed position. And this is the enlightenment week of the Buddha as the full moon is approaching this month. People all over the world, the Buddhists all over the world are paying attention to it, meditating, celebrating with various functions, spiritual events, festivities. And we may try to tap into that energy through this simple guided meditation. To begin relaxing your body from head to toes, you may relax, release any tension, any tightness. Notice the presence of your energy flow. You can notice that. Now I will guide you to a simple body scanning technique that may help us to relax even more. Let us begin with your eyes. Release, relax. The gently closed eyes. And your forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your shoulders, upper back, mid back, and lower back. Your chest, abdomen, sitting bones, muscles connecting your knees, shin bones, ankles, your toes, the soles of your feet, the skin all over your body. Notice if there is any tension arising anywhere at this moment. See if you can send loving kindness and action toward that direction. If it is a message to change your posture, Please listen to that. And you know, anytime you're welcome to change your posture mindfully. In this awakening week, awakening month, we are aware that the awakened, past, enlightened Buddhas and many enlightened monks, saints, those who reached that level eons before and have walked on this earth and on this path, we join them in this journey of relaxation. We get deeply rooted, so stilled like a Buddha statue, any statue, not moving. Whatever has arisen is left as is, with no modification, no intention to change things, control things, or possess anything. Like any other organ in your body, mind can have indigestions, overeating. Mind can have all these poison attacks, venoms. Someone words may not be digested well in our minds. Minds can have dents, brokenness, dominance, ego-driven tendencies, too much indulgence in carbs and in sugar, and mind can have all these wantings. We forgive this mind and promise to make it clean and pure and make the right effort to be consistent with our meditation practice, mental purifications, filtering, and cutting down unwanted sights, sounds, smells, touches, thoughts, unwanted tastes also. By eliminating these, we eliminate many thoughts, many conscious moments, and we become full with purity, serenity, and full of awareness, full of life and meaning. Just a simple change like that changes the direction of our lives from being in an extreme to coming to the middle path, purifying our view of things, purifying our thoughts and concepts, purifying our conduct and verbal, spoken content, purifying our behaviors, and constantly observing our tendency toward indulging what has been left behind and wanting to achieve a future that has not yet arrived. Observing these extremes and coming to be aware of what is now instead of missing the opportunity to notice what is now. And that way arriving at equanimity, tranquility, loving kindness, sublime states of altruistic joy, compassion, and equanimity. Encompassing this world with these sublime states, emitting only pure, unconditional presence, acceptance, no judgment energy. We become one with what is here, the broken or complete earth universe with its faults and all that is here, although we may not know everything that is present from within and outside. Allow your awareness to notice the rhythm of your breath being revealed to you now. With that open awareness beyond this body, notice also that the breath is working like an anchor, supporting you to be fully present here and now. Okay, we will now come out of our meditation. The sound of the gong. And for today's discussion, we have this very interesting read. Let me share the screen. So let's go to the chanting of it. This is verses 153, 154 um, of the Dhammapada, a book that we have been reading on Thursdays. I will chant them so that you know how these are being chanted. This is speaking about the enlightenment. Anekajāti saṃsāraṃ sandhāvissaṃ anibbisaṃ gahakārakaṃ gavesanto dukkhā jāti punappunaṃ gahakāraka diṭṭho'si puna gehaṃ kāhasi sabbā te phāsukā bhaggā gahakauṭaṃ visaṅkhitaṃ visaṅkhāragataṃ cittaṃ taṇhānaṃ khayam'ajjhagā. So the meaning is, through many of saṃsāra's births, saṃsāra means the cycle of birth and death, very important concept for many Indic traditions, including Buddhism. Through many of saṃsāra's births, I hastened seeking, finding not the builder of this house, the house of life, house of that which makes us alive and that which makes us continue seeking another birth, the house builder. Pain is birth again and again. So, in the spirit of an awakened person or someone who's aspiring awakening, they want to abandon this force of their continuum that makes them want to be born in another realm after death. So they are seeking the builder. The spiritual seekers were seeking the builder. So this is, since this is the enlightenment month May full moon day is the Buddha's birth, awakening and passing away. So people celebrate it in May. So this verse came to my mind, and the second part is, O builder of this house, you are seen. So the builder is craving. The craving is seen. You shall not build a house again. All your beams have given away, rafters of the ridge decayed. Mind to the unconditioned gone. Mind is gone to unconditioned. Exhaustion of craving has it reached. So it's a kind of a weird language pattern here. But the basic idea is that through meditation and development of the mind, craving is uprooted, and therefore the biggest challenge they had, that how do we stop being born again in a lower or higher or realm of similar one, like in the human realm. How do we stop that? It's by removing craving. They have reached that state. So this was the challenge they all faced. Now you see in the images, there is a builder who is on the left side of this image. You see some monks, uh, and they have their own mental worlds. One is standing on their own mental world. All of them are, all of them are living in a world. And I have my own world, and you have your own world. And so house builder is the craving. That means this on the right hand side, there's this image of a man who's who has so much gold, then that is money. And someone who has a partner and has cattle and also wealth and their babies. And then there is a monk in the center, and there is a lotus behind, that is the awakening. So that person has none of these, but has the awakening as the wealth. So the contrast is clear that there's a builder and there's the path that these monks have chosen to go. So the reading continues. This religious instruction was spoken by the Buddha while he sat at the foot of the Bodhi tree, tree of enlightenment, by way of solemn speech, a joyful utterance, Udana, and at a later time was recited to Venerable Ananda in answer to a question. For the Buddha, sitting at the foot of the Bodhi tree before the setting of sun, had overcome the force of Mara. Mara is the death. In the first watch, drove away the darkness that veils previous states of existence. So he discovered who he was in previous births, which lives he had. Was he born as a squirrel, as a cow, as the heavenly leader, as a millionaire? And all those were discovered by him through meditation. In the middle watch, acquired supernatural vision. He's able to see the heavens. He's able to see what we don't see, the hungry ghosts and the unseen world. And in the last watch, out of pity for living beings, by focusing his thoughts on dependent originations, that, visual images, hearing, smelling, all these are arisen with consciousness, also with external contact with the world, and with manifestations mentally. Having known this teaching is called dependent origination, things arising dependently. If you are not conscious on something that you are staring at, it may not be recorded. You may not know it. So, knowing that, he kind of removed any ignorance he had and removed any craving, removed all the anger he had. He saw the falseness of these mental poisons, removed all the delusions also, and meditating on it both forward and backwards. Forward is how things arise, backwards is how things disappear. At sunrise, he obtained complete enlightenment. Thereupon, he breathed forth a solemn declaration common to countless number of Buddhas. So previous Buddhas, previous awakened ones also declared a similar statement. So the simple meaning of the translation goes like this. This tour, this cycle of existence has run through numerous births without encountering, looking for the builder, the craving, the creator of the world, that is also the craving, the creator of the self, that is also the craving. For repeated births is painful. dukkhā jāti punappunaṃ. Or you can say that which brings suffering again and again by wanting something, by clinging to forms, by clinging to feelings. But when we do not accomplish what we want, then there may be some mental suffering, or physical suffering, or heart pain, or heartbrokenness. So this can happen repeatedly, and he has now discovered what is the force behind this energy. And the simple translation here is, O builder, the creator, you are at last seen. You will never build this house and self again. All your supports are destroyed. The structure is demolished. The mind has stopped being conditioned. The urge has ceased. So imagine a house built on wooden poles, and then there's a roof, and by destroying the middle pole, you destroy the entire house. The middle pole could be this this craving. There's little more here. Uh, at dawn, on the very day of his enlightenment, the Buddha spoke this paean of joy, Udana, which vividly describes his transcendental moral victory and his inner spiritual experience. He was compelled to travel on this tour, saṃsāra, and consequently to suffer, as he could not discover the architect that built this house and the self. In his final birth, while engaged in solitary meditation, which he had highly developed, in the course of his wanderings, after a relentless search, he discovered by his own insight, there was no teacher to teach this to him, the elusive architect residing not outside but within the recesses of his own heart. It was the mental process of perception and conception, saṅkhāra, and the compulsive urge to exist, bhava, that was the creator, the architect, the builder, which is a mental process latent in all. What is created by oneself can be destroyed by oneself. The discovery of the architect is the introspective awareness of the mental process which stopped the process, attaining arahantship. In these verses, it is alluded to as the cessation of the urge. The support of this self-created house is the urge. The structure is the mental construct, saṅkhāra. The shattering of the structure by becoming conscious of the process results in the complete demolition of the house. Within the demolition of the house, the mind attains the unconditioned state, which is nibbana. Here, the Buddha admits his past wanderings in existence, which entail suffering, a fact which evidently proves that rebirth, more than being a mere belief, is the very factual basis of the practice of Buddhism. It is the problem that the Buddha set out to solve for the benefit of all mankind. All right. There are some verses here. The Jātaka Commentary relates that the Bodhisattva, that means the awakened, someone aspiring to be awakened, in his birth as the ascetic Sumedha, contemplated thus. So, in a previous birth, he contemplated this way. Even as, although misery is, yet happiness is also found. So, though indeed existence is, non existence should be sought. Even as, although there may be heat, yet grateful cold is also found. So, though the threefold fire exists, likewise nirvana should be sought. Even as, although there evil is, that which is good is also found. So, though 'tis true that birth exists, that which is not birth should be sought. So, by this, it shows that even in previous births, they had this question in their minds that they were seeking an answer to it. It's only through fulfilling of their perfections, perfection of generosity, perfection of truth, perfection of effort, perfection of renunciation. 10 there are these 10 perfections. These are called paramis that who he created conditions sufficient for him to be born as a human being again, with the capability to seek truth and reach the final goal of attaining the enlightenment. So that enlightenment is called Nibbana. So I may have confused you with so much technical jargon sometimes, but
Well, I don't know if you can see me when I can't see you, but I feel like it's all over my head, over my head.
right.
And I think when I started, I asked you to send me some books about Buddhism,
Mm-hmm.
but please take this the right way. Those were large books,
Okay.
and I think I need a cheat sheet. Now I can do this on my own or,
Right.
look at because the whole concept is
Mm-hmm.
not something I'm familiar with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it depends on the reading you do
Mm-hmm.
or you pick, whether I understand it or not. And the more concrete it is, I
Mm-hmm.
usually understand. But this is not concrete for my mind
Mm-hmm.
at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the difference between, I mean, I can probably figure it out when I'm not talking to you, but enlightenment and rebirth and how this goes on,
Mm-hmm.
I understand, or I think I understand. You could probably tell me better. The concept of destroying the house, and destroying sounds like a negative word, but getting rid of the framework of the house,
Mm-hmm.
because it holds you in with
Mm-hmm.
all these things that are disturbing to people,
Mm-hmm.
or keep you from being able to clear your mind more and understand about letting go. See, I'm more simplistic. It's about how do you get things in your life, how do you deal with things in your life,
Yeah.
so you know how to move them along in
Yeah.
a way that actually satisfies you, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to take responsibility for something.
Absolutely.
It's not
More.
going to just go away because I've decided I'm
Yeah.
just going to ignore that so and so was mean to me.
No.
I
Right.
don't spend a lot of time actually thinking like that. I
Mm-hmm.
understand about cravings and I understand the struggles with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I basically, it makes sense to me to try to grow around cleansing yourself essentially of a lot of this stuff that's basically poisonous to you, for lack of another term.
Yeah.
So I think I need to do a little cheat sheet. When I say cheat sheet, what I mean is I am not belittling it in any way. I don't mean that, but I need to understand what Buddhism describes
Mm-hmm.
enlightenment. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? As
Mm-hmm.
opposed to the following, because I think if it goes on too long and I don't understand it from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
I would really, I mean, I really, after I am not with you anymore, I think about the reading.
Yeah.
Sometimes not the same evening, but
Yeah.
I think about it because I believe that these are principles towards having peace.
One way to so do you get our newsletters?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, in the newsletter I send out the reading and
Oh no, I don't think I do. I get, like, if you're doing something on Monday night, I get an email, but I
oh,
don't
I
think it's
see.
in. I don't think it's in that, or is it? And I've missed it.
In the recent newsletter that went out, there is the description and the link that that describes it, but I don't expect anyone to really go through it. Uh,
Well, I
because
would read it, but I guess I thought, oh, you're telling me this is an opportunity on Monday nights, and I can't do Monday night, or um, I I just didn't make that as a priority. And so I guess I don't go to the bottom. I should look next time. Is that basically it? And I could click it on?
well, there might be some changes happening since
Oh,
we
okay.
were discussing about eliminating some of the programs like monthly talk and then sticking to just one weekly program. And um, I know I have been doing the Saturday mornings, and
Mhm.
that has some thoughts of we have some thoughts of eliminating that, and maybe I would keep the Thursdays for now to see.
And it is possible that the Thursdays will go away. That's a question. You're just revamping. I know you have new people, new
Right.
leadership, and
Yeah.
I understand all that. Please understand. And also, when there's just me, that may not be what some people would think would be the best use of your time.
No, I mean, we
And I'm
have
not
been
being critical. I'm
experimenting.
just, you know.
We have
Mhm,
been experimenting completely with all these new programs we have been doing, but
yeah.
I will send out a note about what will happen if changes do happen. But especially only about Thursdays, since that's the day. Um, anyway, so about your
Mhm,
thoughts on enlightenment and rebirth, yeah, these concepts, maybe um, um, I try to also really be gentle about bringing these concepts to these discussions, knowing that where I am with these concepts and where you could be very, very, you
mhm.
know, different, because our backgrounds can be different. But yes, although some of these concepts come out, I try to be very simple with them. Since you said enlightenment, enlightenment, this is also a concept that is really broad, and it's it's a Western word. It's also described as awakening, understanding the truth,
Okay.
and it has many connotations, like elimination of craving, elimination of anger, complete disappearance of any delusion, complete disappearance of ignorance. So, what ignorance? The kind of ignorance that they talk about is not knowing the truth behind the mental processes.
Hmm.
Once anyone knows, there is this tendency to abandon certain behaviors,
Hmm.
because you know now the mechanics behind it, and there's no need to hold on to things the same way. By abandoning these things, we also abandon the tendency for our mind to want another birth. That's also ingrained in the Buddhist teachings, that people, if at the end of their lives, they may be reborn in a different continuity. And of course, everyone in the Buddhist world want a happier rebirth. Also
Say
in the
that word
Hindu,
again, please.
in Buddhist world, everyone wants a happier rebirth.
Okay. Thank you.
Like that is next birth, they
Mhm.
expect it to be a better one. But the Buddha says you can't have a better one unless you have lived a life of goodness.
That seems reasonable to me. That, of course, I
Right.
understand.
So the concept of rebirth is ingrained in the teachings, that it encourages people to live a morally sound um, life. So
Hmm.
responsible life, like you said. And so past births, these are called punarbhava, continuous existence, like the mental energy seems to continue in
Hmm.
certain ways, even after the decomposition of this body, that it can
Okay.
go into a heavenly existence, it can go into a hell, painful realm. So
Okay.
that's rebirth. The Buddhas and awakened ones, they stop that process. They kind of refine their status of the mind to that level, to the level of completely ending that force that
Hmm.
create another birth. That is what they do.
And when you described it like that, that's sort of what I pulled. I mean, not as concise as that, but sort of pulled away. But I think it's all that I really mean. It's not like I don't understand what's going
Mhm.
on every time you talk. It was just this particular one. I felt like I was missing, at least in my thinking, the foundation of what is rebirth. What is normally it's a story, it's a story, and I get the concept of that. So thank you. I think
You're
maybe
welcome.
that was my cheat sheet. Thank you.
Great. I'm glad you.
And I like learning. I mean,
Yeah.
it's important. I
Yeah.
love the meditation because it
Mhm.
is so relaxing, and I am good at clearing my mind quickly,
Mhm.
and I can do that on my own.
I'm
But
glad.
there's something about when somebody is talking through it
Yeah. It
that
is.
is just a little bit different. And I know I could probably do that on
YouTube.
calm.com or something, but I don't
Right.
really, that's not what I'm looking for, apparently.
No,
So thank
that's
you.
why I'm here. Yeah.
And all you have to do is warn me if I'm getting the boot. And, and I will, of course. But, I'm assuming that if you're going to change programs around, there might be other ways that the leadership, is that the wrong word, or just the way you
Yeah.
as a
The
group
leadership. Yeah.
have decided to do it? So there
Yeah.
is a
There will be
place
more
for
silent
meditation.
retreats in-person silent retreats happening.
Okay.
That's kind of
Okay.
longer. That doesn't require so much programming for us to be present.
Intensity on, yes, no, I understand
Yeah.
that you might lose me when that happens, but unless you've gotten
Yeah.
rid of me before.
No, no, no,
But you
no,
know
no.
what? Yeah, I've loved seriously, I've loved all of it. And I am, when I have to change and not come, it's like, oh, I miss it. I look forward to it. Like
Great.
this morning, I was talking with a friend and said, oh no, I'm available for meditation. So thank you. And I won't overkeep you, but of course it makes sense. I
No, I will
understand.
be in touch. I try to
Okay.
stick with the Thursdays. Yeah.
Okay. And I am not offended or
Of course, I
insulted or
understand.
any of those things. I like it just when people tell me what they're thinking.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I am planning to see you next week.
See you. Yeah, absolutely. And let's share merits, and that will be the end of the event.
Thank you.
May the suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.